Hello everyone and welcome back to the 44th episode of Panther Talks.
Hello.
This week is an interesting one.
Well, Roy, at least on the bright side, we got some good news to start with this time.
Oh.
The latest episode did a lot better than I think either of us really expected.
Yeah, that is very true. We hit
What are we sitting at now?
96 views on that, 2 likes, and we gained 2 subscribers. One of them I found out was our community manager's personal channel afterwards, but the other one is unconclusive, so thank you, mystery subscriber, and likers.
Yeah. That's great to see, great to hear.
Yeah, it's considering what we went through and what we spoke about at the end of that episode, it was really, to be honest, it was quite positive and quite happy for us to see that, yeah, we'd actually pulled something back from that terrible situation.
I'm sort of wondering, because I feel like YouTube knew fine rightly that there was bot spam going on. And I feel like there was something going on in the background that might have been sort of disrupting our video potential.
It's possible.
The amount of things that have happened at the moment that that's all over,
Yeah.
it's quite substantial. And when we were getting botted before, there was no interaction at all.
No, exactly. To be honest, it's meant a lot. I don't know if I'm just talking about myself, but it has meant a lot that it's just pulled through all of a sudden. It's like, blooming hell, the hell's all this?
Absolutely. I'm not sure if you could tell, but I was a little bummed. Well, really bummed out whenever it all finally blew over. But seeing that was really good to see. I think we had 60 plus after the first 24 hours, right?
We did, yes.
Yeah, so it was great to see.
It really was. Fully with you on that one. But let's quickly go over what topics we're covering this week then.
Heck yes.
So, we'll be starting with some exclusive news regarding The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, launching possibly in January 2024. A article to do with video games industry crisis due to the Elder Scrolls 6 timeline and PS5 SSD upgrade advice.
Any Elder Scrolls news is always exciting.
Oh yeah. PlayStation Store adding new star rating system for games.
So reviews ?
Pretty much. Northampton Gaming Cafe used to combat gang culture.
Interesting.
We need a reset. Gaming journalist on why consoles need to stop improving.
What?
My thoughts exactly. Is the IMAC good for gaming? Yeah, that laugh tells you everything you need.
Bro, where are you getting this stuff from?
I found some interesting articles. Valve releasing their 25th anniversary documentary on Half-Life 1. And finally, Valve announced their new Steam Deck OLED.
I think I saw that. Like literally just the title of it, and that was it. I didn't obviously look into it because it was in kind of on break. I think it was probably on my break in work.
I get that.
The only time I'm on my phone, dude.
Being said, let's get into the first topic, shall we?
Yes, sir.
So, let's see if I've got this right. There we go. Fantastic. I'm happy because I'm starting to get used to this new system I'm implementing. Just to start with, before we get into the articles, actually, there's something that's going to be a little different this week. It's called, I finally figured out the audio system in OBS.
Yes, we were playing around with it a little bit before. Well, it's not before, sorry, after the last episode.
Well, yeah, we messed around with it before the episode, but it didn't do what I wanted it to do. So now we've had to mess with it again afterwards, and fingers crossed, things will be a lot better. And from what I can see from the OBS update, they've actually implemented, finally, a YouTube live control panel. So streaming on the Panther Talks channel is now completely viable. which is good news.
There you go.
But with all
Rounded,
that,
my friend.
oh yeah. But with all that being said, let's take a look at what we've got. So, exclusive, The Last of Us Part 2, Remastered, launching January 2024. One of the most controversial games of the years when it released. And we get good old Insider Gaming. Yay. So, Insider Gaming has learned that The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered will launch on January 19th, 2024. Why does it have to be the day after my birthday? Don't sully my birth month like that.
Hey man,
God
my
forbid.
actual birthday got sullied by Modern Warfare 3. What are you on about?
Yeah, that's fair, actually. That's very fair. The news follows today's leak that The Last of Us Part 2 will be coming to the PlayStation 5. According to a reputable data miner and leaker, PlayStation Size, the game will indeed be The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, that Insider Gaming can verify. In addition, we've been able to obtain the release date of January 19th, 2024, and the reveal trailer, which you can see below. That bit I don't think was a good idea to release. In addition to the trailer and release date, you can see the full game description below. Edition includes The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered full game for the PS5 console. Experience the winner of over 300 Game of the Year. That's how I feel regarding that game.
Yes, there was never anything good in the last while to come from it. The ammunition being my main poking point.
I just don't know how to feel about that. Really don't. Native PS5 enhancements built for the PS5 console. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered enhances the original PS4 game in ways not possible before, including a host of graphical improvements bringing the beautiful yet dangerous world to life. Visual performance now outputs at 4K in fidelity mode. Good. Improve loading times more quickly, that doesn't sound right. Let you jump into the action. Full DualSense wireless controller integration. This is intriguing. No Return, a roguelike survival mode. Experience The Last of Us 2's deep combat via an entirely new mode. Survive as long as you can in each run. As you choose your path through a series of randomized encounters, play as a host of different unlockable characters, some never before playable in the Last of Us franchise. Each with unique gameplay traits, the variety of challenges feature different foes and memorable locations from throughout Part 2, all culminating in intense boss battles. That might bring someone back. It gives you a reason to play it on the new console rather than just nice graphics. So it might pull people back in. New ways to play. Oh, 100%. Delve deeper into this beloved adventure. It was really up in the air whether it was a beloved adventure, Sony. And learn how the original game was created. Lost Levels lets you explore early development versions of these 3 new levels not seen in the original. Enjoy hours of new developer commentary to hear insights into Part 2's development as you experience the game. Live up to your musical potential with guitar free play. The fuck?
What?
Which includes new unlockable instruments, or take on the speedrun mode and post your best What?
Is it going to be one of those things, you know, the game where it's like the two guys and they're escaping from prison? I can't remember the name all of a sudden.
Yeah, I know what you're on about.
Is it going to be like that game where there's like random little things, like how you can play checkers together and all that?
Possible.
That's what it sounds like.
It does, yeah. Descriptive audio and speech to vibrations have been added as a part of added to Part 2's suite of accessibility features. Always good to have accessibility. The Last of Us 2 Part 2 Remastered also features brand new unlockable character and weapon skins for players to use as both Ellie and Abby. What is it with fucking weapon skins on video games nowadays?
I mean, it's a good way for them to make money. As long as it stays cosmetics only, I kind of don't have a problem, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm about the same, but when you just hear it's, tacked on no matter what, you just sort of go, oh, for fuck's sake, not again. That's all I seem to be able to think lately. It's like, oh, cosmetics, yeah, because that was really needed in this single player game. Because everyone who watches my -1 YouTube subscriber channel is definitely going to be going to enjoy seeing the skin on my gun.
Now, Roy, be nice.
I'll try. Anyways, moving on. Turning point. Well, there is certainly a lot to work through with the article on US sales in October. I'm certainly one that is constantly surprised at just how well the Spider-Man games do. As while they're decent, I wouldn't say they're amazing, no pun intended. They're also very similar to about a dozen previous Spider games, not to mention the Batman ones they keep ripping off. I'll be honest, I have a little bit of a bias, and that's because I absolutely love the Batman Arkham games. They're some of my favourite games of all time, and honestly...
I do know some of them did really, really well. So.
Oh yeah. The Spider-Man games... The Spider games are good, but putting them side by side, whew, no contest.
Yeah, I will say, anytime I've seen them, they've looked very similar.
Yeah.
It seems like much is going on.
Oh, 100%. They're much less deserving games that have done well, though. So I'm not going to complain. But what strikes me about all this is that the Switch is still selling well, to the level where if you didn't know how old it was, you'd say it still had around 2 years left in it. I don't know what Nintendo will think about that, but it's an odd situation to be in where the console you want to replace is still awkwardly still popular. I kind of get that, but at the same time, struggling to see why. That's the big thing.
Really?
Yeah.
You cut out for me again.
That was me being more whispery. I do apologise. I just said basically I'm struggling to see why that's a fucking point in the first place. And then there's...
If you're about to release a new console and your current one is still popular, is that really such a bad thing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It doesn't really impact their bottom line whatsoever. And if people know how well the Switch has done, especially over the years, it's dragged more and more people to it. I personally can see it's still surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's double the sales for them. What's the issue?
The Switch has been probably one of the biggest things I've ever heard of.
Oh, it's definitely up there. Highly up there.
You do so much with it. I mean, I got a girlfriend one for Christmas last year.
Yeah.
Finally gave her the opportunity to play Stardew Valley.
That she's become mildly obsessed with.
Oh, she played it non-stop for a good while, like.
Oh, yeah. But that's Stardew Valley. The mental man.
No, she got like 3.5 years in the space of a few weeks. And anytime I've played Stardew now, whilst I have more playtime than her, every time I've only ever gotten like, I think 1.5 years is my furthest.
Yeah.
Because I keep starting new playthroughs.
No, I can't blame you. And then there's Xbox, which just can't catch a break. Not only did Starfield make little impact, that's not very true.
It definitely didn't make little impact, but I don't think it didn't make as big an impact as was expected, I would say.
Yeah, I'd definitely go with that.
It was still large, but not as large as what it was intended to be, for sure.
Yeah. It didn't reach its full potential. But I noticed Forza Motorsport didn't either. They haven't a major hit all year, critically and commercially, and they're still being outsold by the 6-year-old Switch. I don't know what the panic button is at Microsoft by year, but their finger must be hovering over it right now. And then to top it... One second, actually, just wait a second, take a step back here. Buying EA is a panic possibility to fix things. EA? Really? The only thing EA are good for, to be honest with you, is just creating the same game year after year after year.
Yeah, and charging more each year.
Yep.
Having microtransactions.
No. According to EA, it's surprise mechanics. They actually said that when being interviewed and spoken to in the British Parliament regarding the topic.
Jesus, man.
How can you fuck that up? There, of all places. Jesus Christ. And then to top it all, sales are down on last year for all 3 consoles by a fairly significant margin. Maybe people are holding out for Black Friday, but I don't think to that degree. I hate to bring up the word crash again, but I really do worry that one is on the way. With the constant stories of job cuts everywhere, I feel the whole industry is in crisis, and that the old console model is growing stale for people that can't afford them anymore. But before streaming is really viable and able to take over, I don't know what the answer to any of this is. But if Sony tries to push a PS5 Pro next year, they're nuts. I kind of see what they mean, considering what we've been covering over the past couple of weeks. In regards to, the mental amount of cuts and jobs being lost in the industry overall.
Yeah.
I kind of see where he's coming from there. I can't really judge what he's saying in a negative way in that regard. Positive Judgment. I just finished off Judgment, and it's One second. Is this just like multiple fucking articles thrown into one? It is. Jesus Christ. So that's Judgment.
Bro's got a lot to say, man.
No, this is different people.
Oh. Wait.
Yeah.
So it's just one long page of multiple articles.
Pretty much.
Down.
Like, the Elder Scrolls 6 timeline, let's see if we can find that. Because that's the only one that's really interesting here. I guess it's the fast forward. I wonder if the mediocre success of Starfield is going to shorten the length of time that Bethesda spends on its DLC. I agree that mods are definitely going to help the game, but you could also argue that it's even more of a reason to just leave the DLC up to the fans and get on with the Elder Scrolls 6. The game people
leave the DLC up to the fans.
I mean, in all fairness, Skyrim's been doing it.
I know.
I think it's a shame. Starfield didn't do better because it discourages publishers from funding new IP. But beyond that, I'm happy to move on and put it down as a failed experiment. If only games weren't so stupidly expensive and time-consuming to make, that shouldn't be a major problem, but unfortunately it is. I disagree that it was a failed experiment though, because they did do some things really well. Let's move on to the next one. PlayStation Store adds new star rating system for games. Once upon a time, we had PlayStation All-Stars, and now PlayStation is All-Stars once again. Well, the PlayStation Store is anyway. Sony has introduced star ratings on the PlayStation Store, meaning players can get an idea of how any given game has been received by fellow players before making a purchase. If only they give reviews. Proper reviews where you can leave a comment.
Yeah. getting an overall rating of stars is great and all to give people a general idea if it's even worth it or not. But
Hmm.
there's nothing better than some good old reviews.
No. I mean, prime example here. Screenshots of Robocop Rogue City, which I played the demo of, and it was fucking amazing. 4.53 star rating. On the PlayStation Store, the Lord of the Rings Golem, meanwhile, only has a 2.59, so that's about 2.5 stars, just over. Now, I just need to state this. I'm pretty sure Lord of the Rings Golem has an abysmal rating on Steam.
Oh, it's not good. I remember when we were discussing that. Oh my goodness.
It's still at full price, by the way.
Really?
Mostly negative, 36% positive. And you're trying to tell me that works out at... Ooh, 2.5 stars? I wouldn't say so.
Yikes.
4.59 stars rating for Uncharted 2. Ezio Collection 4.68. Deserved. Give that fucker a 5 star. The fact that 4% have given it a 1 star is disgraceful. I
mean,
slaughter them.
not every game can tailor to every person. That's
I don't
all
care.
that is.
But this is 4.91. Spider-Man 2 is 4.91. No, I cannot.
You know why that is, Roy. Do you want me to tell you why it is? That's the case.
Why?
Because it's a Sony exclusive.
Fucking hell. Why? Why?
Very good question, my friend.
That is my question for everyone. Do your homework. Why? That's the question. Just why? There is no topic. Just answer why. Homework expected next Sunday.
Damn, bro.
I could be a dick and could be saying Monday morning. Come on. Did it to my students when I was a tutor. That was fun. Northampton Gaming Cafe used to combat gang culture. Now, I have to state this as part of this conversation. We actually have a gaming cafe near us. One of the greatest places I've been to, by the way. I absolutely love going. It's a great time. And it's a really enjoyable afternoon, like going up and stuff. But I can't see gangs being very interested.
No,
but that's just
maybe in the valuables they have.
Maybe. I mean, there was another one close to me which ended up getting robbed of most of their systems because of gangs, which was not a good time. A group of youth workers hope to keep young people away from gang culture through gaming. That's a good idea overall, though. The Yard is a gaming cafe on Gold Street in Northampton that gives young people who might get caught up in gang behaviour a safe space to go to. The Games Against Gangs initiative has received £95,188 in funding from the Children in Need. Honestly, I think that's a good initiative to follow, though. Isaac visits the Yard almost every day and uses it as a place to escape the world, understandably. Games Against Gangs uses gaming as a way for young people to learn to work together and offers a chance to talk about internet safety and other issues. So, Will, just a quick dive off there. Considering it teaches people how to work together, how does your teamwork go in Rust?
I'd love to say normally not too bad. But if we take out yesterday and say for a few days before that, I may as well be playing this game on my own.
There you go, people. Gaming and teamwork.
Otherwise, not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Yeah, if I take out all the bad instances, it's not bad.
Yeah. No, in fairness, yesterday we were playing as 6 people, which is very rare that we have that many.
Yeah.
And me and one guy went off on our own, made a great play, got like a load of loot. So sometimes it goes really well, and then the odd time it doesn't go well at all.
No.
Matter of fact, sometimes it just doesn't go at all.
There is no movement here.
And there may as well not be, to be honest.
16-year-old Isaac wanted somewhere to go with his friends, especially when the weather gets colder and darker. Understandably so. He said, "When I'm walking around town, you do feel quite unsafe. But when I'm here, I do feel safe." Gotta give it, you're interviewing a 16-year-old kid. How else are you expecting them to respond? Their grasp of the language is not great as it is. My grasp of the language isn't great, and I'm 24, nearly 25.
Well, that's because you're just an idiot.
Well, you are as well. What's your excuse?
Yeah, exactly. So you can't compare us to them. That's just not fair on them.
True, but the fact that we can speak it a little better than them really doesn't help. Isaac started coming to the yard as a safe place to be indoors, but kept visiting to escape the pressures and stresses of school. Which is what, once again, we said this in numerous episodes over the time we've been doing this. Gaming is an escape. It's a way to just get away from everything that is bogging you down in the real world.
You know what, sir? I've had enough. Speak for yourself. It's a way of life.
Yes, actually, I'll go with that. That works too. Well, watch it, Will. We might get in trouble for, video game addiction again.
Oh, no.
Them 4 articles that we've argued in the past and fucking destroyed. He said, "I come near enough every single day it's open. Talk about how my
addiction. Yep.
All addiction here. My day's been at school. It's a nice place to escape the world. Complete addiction. Sorry,
yeah,
kid.
Absolutely.
We need to get you into rehab ASAP.
Yeah, like sponge room for 6 months minimum, I think.
Sponge room. Like it.
Sorry, is that overkill?
Nah,
or is that not enough? I'm not sure which direction you want me to go.
Not enough. You at least need the self-hugging jacket first.
Oh, I mean, if you're in a sponge room, mate, you can guarantee you're in a straight jacket.
No, it's a self-hugging jacket.
Sure, yeah. Family friendly, right?
Yeah. Because us who swear all the time is definitely family friendly.
Yes, and 18 plus video games.
Yeah, it's the reason that
that like anyone cares about that.
No, not anymore. But it's the reason that this entire channel, I have always ticked the box that this channel is not friendly for children. So you cannot watch a single video on our channel unless your age is set over 18.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, is something that we needed to do. Because we are quite vulgar people. It's what we do. But we enjoy it. So we're not going to compromise on that because money. It's not what we're going to do.
I don't think either of us could really care for something of the sorts.
No.
It's just who we are and how we are. Plain and simple.
Exactly. Oh, they've even got VR from the looks of things.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Debbie Harrison's one of the youth workers, but prefers to be seen as a conversation starter. She said, "It's a safe space for young people to be in, so they're not out on the streets in the town centre, not the possibility of getting caught up in gangs and drugs or other alcohol-related things. It's safe, it's a warm space, and they can get advice and help and support." Sorry, I did cut you off there, but yeah, there's a picture of this kid here with a VR headset on. It looks like the Meta Quest 2 that I've got.
I'll be honest, I can use VR in a public place, man. I wear it way too tight.
Same.
Because I fling myself around. So every time I take it off, my girlfriend just laughs like fuck at me. She just looks at me having giant red markings all over my face.
Especially when you and me have been playing on VR together afterwards. I take it off, I'm sweating like a fucker. And then I go down for a smoke and all I can see in the mirror in the lift is just bright red marks all over my face. I'm like,
yep.
What have I done?
You just look like a flipping idiot.
Yeah, you do. But at the same time, I have a different headset strap now to this. I took my old ones off, replaced it with a new system, and basically you just tighten a little thing on the back of your head, and it tightens to your head. A lot more comfortable as well, a lot more padding.
That's fine. It's got both a strap to sort of like figure out the distance to have it, and then you tighten it on the back. but it's just I don't know if I just haven't gotten used to it yet or haven't found what I used to have it at. But it doesn't look too great at the minute.
I mean, you can always just, put the old straps on.
Same as my last one, so I just have to get it comfortable. Like I'd have the same issue if that one broke and I had to go back to it. So
That's fair. Miss Harrison said seeing how much of a difference the site was making was rewarding. For young people today, it's quite a big issue, gangs. They're very easily led, and those sort of people, the criteria of those people pry on young vulnerable people. And because it's an area of poverty, that's why the yard is here. Northampton has expanded quite a lot in the last 5 years, so I think the need for somewhere for young people to go to is vital, really. There should be more places for them to go, which I'd fully agree with. Opening more places for where they actually cater to the kids' hobbies and interests, it's always a good idea. Because, you get loads of them, which are stuff like musical instruments, bloody all after school clubs. You don't see as much for people who want to play games.
No one wants to stay after school either anymore, dude.
No, exactly. But it's only the last couple of years that, we're starting to see things to do with games starting to pop up. And it's good to see. It really needs to continue. So the next 2 articles are going to be a joke. We need a reset, gaming journalist, on why consoles need to stop improving.
I don't get why you would want them to stop improving, but sure, go for it.
Neither do I, considering for many years they were holding back PC development.
And they were also complaining about PC,
Yeah, because we were too far ahead, but the consoles were too far behind. Now we're closer, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Anyways. Last week, Rockstar Games announced that a trailer for the upcoming GTA 6 would be released this December. The news sent the gaming world into a tizzy.
Or, isn't it?
Sometime around then, yeah. Well, the announcement of a trailer, it signified the first official news of a follow-up title to the immensely popular GTA 5. Released in 2013, GTA 5 is the second highest-selling game in video game history, and has generated over $8 billion, €7.4 billion, in worldwide revenue. Critically lauded, gamers have waited for a sequel for longer than ever. That's not true, but okay. They've
waited and waited and waited. People have always talked about it, but at the same time, they've also just been saying, "Screw it, let's just go and fuck around on GTA 5 for like an indefinite amount of time."
Exactly. Between 1997 and 2013, Rockstar Games released 7 games from the main series, 4 expansion packs, and 4 handheld games. After GTA 5 came out, all went quiet for the series. Rockstar has released other titles, sure, but the prevailing theory was that after making the biggest, most successful open-world action game in history, an adequate sequel was too great an undertaking to come fast. Which, obviously, is going to take time, yeah. It's an industry-wide problem, argues Jordan Miner, a video game journalist and author of a new book, Video Game of the Year, a year-by-year guide to the best, boldest and most bizarre games from every year since 1977. Who fucking writes titles? Like, that title is a sentence. The fuck?
You're not wrong.
Consoles have gotten more and more powerful, graphics get better and better, game worlds are increasingly open and endlessly explorable, and all of this comes with a price. Literally, studios spend huge amounts of money developing big titles. GTA 5 has been estimated to have cost upwards of $210 million, which means they made a good $7.6 billion in profit.
Yeah, just a small profit.
Yeah, a very small amount.
Small business making a small profit, you know?
Oh, always, mate, always. Soaring costs and rising expectations have caused studios to slow down their rate of releases. If that's the case, why is it we've had one of the most shocking years in video game history this year alone?
Yeah. We've said it so many times, and we'll say it so many times again. It has been absolutely abysmal.
It really has. Now, developers are only going to get out like one game for an entire console generation, and it takes them the length of it to make it. Minus is, with fewer releases at higher budgets, studios have gotten more risk averse. That's just not the best working environment for game developers, Minus suggests. In many ways, it's a similar problem to one Hollywood is facing. Studios have spent the last decade investing in huge tentpole blockbusters, as increasing numbers of risk-averse superhero films with huge budgets dominated the screens of the 2010s. Middle-budget movies fell by the wayside, so too have we seemingly lost the art of the middle-budget video game. I can call this entire section bullshit in one simple way. Look at the indie market. There are games in the indie market currently that go above and beyond. They do things that you do not expect or anticipate. It takes them about 3-4 years to create the indie market. It's pretty much doing everything that we need. It takes 3 to 4 years to create. Once it's created, pretty much it's a case of off it goes. They'll do it in early access and whatever.
Yeah.
It's not much of an issue for them in that regard.
See, what I don't understand about people complaining about game release times and so on and so forth is, if you look at GTA 5, they're still pulling in money from that game.
Constantly.
And whilst it may not be my cup of tea, there are probably millions of people still enjoying it.
Yeah.
So why can we not get games released that are like that, but then last that amount of time with
what?
To make the next ones to make sure it's even better.
Yeah.
I don't see why that would be such a problem, because if you can get that much replayability out of a game, then go for it. You know,
Yeah,
there's plenty of games I
100%.
still go back and play over and over. Diablo 3 being a prime example. No pun intended with the prime.
Oh dear.
You know, prime evil.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. I'm just going to address this now. People may realise we've been having mic issues throughout this entire episode. Discord seems to have had an update.
Oh, again, lovely.
It's not a good update. I don't know what's going on, but it just happened for you as well and cut you out for a brief section of time. Thankfully, we managed to sort that out. But with all that said, this episode might be a bit more choppy than normal. If that's the case, I do apologise. It's just what needed to be done to fix any of the issues.
Actually, not much we can do about that. It's just unfortunate timing.
Exactly. It's something that just happens with this sort of thing. We've already been have we? Much like the film industry, though, there is another small budget, experimental, and exciting indie titles have started to gain traction. What was I just saying?
Yeah, it just cut you out again for me.
Exactly. But yeah, small, exciting indie titles have started to gain traction.
Only now.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
You know what, Roy? I'm just gonna take us completely off trail for a moment and just say I have hopefully some good news. 2024 is already starting to look a lot better. I've had like a bunch of TikToks coming up.
Yeah.
Showing like with people advertising games they're making. I'll have to send you a few of them if I can remember.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a massive interest in that sort of stuff. There's a lot of games coming out. I've seen them on TikTok quite a bit this last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see what comes out next. So 2024, hopefully, a lot better of a year.
I mean, let's be honest, the bar is real low.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm basically going to summarize this article because I don't need to read the rest of it to know what it's going to say. And sadly, what it's going to say is basically there is too much going on, it's causing way too many issues for developers, and it's causing a lower output of video games. Which, at the same time, is then causing less money to go into the market, causing the crash that we're currently seeing. That is just what is seeming to happen. And that's what anyone can see from the outside. And me and Will have been discussing it the past couple of weeks.
Yep.
It's sadly becoming a common occurrence. That is all there is to it. It's going to be a case of we're just going to have to see. There's still games out there now that are looking good from years ago. There's games that could really do with a graphical increase and improvement. Focus on them. But graphics do not make a game. Yes, they're a nice part, but they are not the game itself. And the reason I've just summed this up rather than reading through the entire thing, it's a lot of text to say such a simple statement.
Yeah.
Let's tackle the Mac. Fucking Mac. Fucking Mac, man. The 24-inch iMac recently got updated. Apple's silicon inside, with the M3 chip now powering the popular all-in-one desktop. It's an undeniable productivity powerhouse with a great screen, a FaceTime HD camera for video conferencing, and tons of advanced hardware inside to handle almost any task you can imagine. Except for one. Wonder what that could be. It's so much fun, this. Totally fun. Gaming has long been an afterthought on the iMac line, but with hardware tailored to professional use. And we all know professionals don't play silly things like video games, right?
No, definitely not.
Totally not headbutting my microphone right now in anger. But then, with the iPhone 15 Pro being able to play console-level games like Resident Evil Village, maybe it's time for Apple to embrace gaming on the iMac.
I can't wait to see how much this is going to cost when they bring this out.
The part that really is doing my head in is the reason Mac is typically not really looked at when it comes to video games. It's simply because no one can be asked to go and redevelop the entire game for a Mac.
Yeah, you're asking for a lot there.
It's a lot of effort for very little payoff because the Mac market is so small.
And developers already have enough pressure if they're making games there for both PC and console. You want them to make it for another OS as well?
Exactly.
You're pushing it there.
The main reason that Macs weren't used for gaming wasn't developer support. That's bullshit. It was that the hardware was seriously underpowered for the task. That's partially true, yes, but I'm not sure I could say it's seriously underpowered when they were used for serious fucking video editing, musical editing, pretty much any editing actually. Macs was superior to that on that sort of stuff. The best Macs currently all run Apple Silicon and are exponentially more powerful than the options from the PowerPC or Intel eras. Those older iMacs also had thermal issues on simple tasks because Apple wanted them as thin as possible while still using relatively warm running processors. Okay. Yeah. Oh dear. What a day this is going to be. I can't stand Apple. It's a genuine fucking issue of mine. Anything Apple is a no-go.
Never liked them. And honestly, I've never seen how they're in any way superior to anything else.
In my opinion, they're not. You pay for the brand.
You pay for everything when it comes to Apple, mate.
Yeah.
That's what's killed me most about them.
What was it now? When we were setting up the podcast and I got us onto the Apple podcast system.
Yeah.
They actually required us to set up tax information. Before we were even trying to sell like anything on there, yeah, we have to put forward tax information straight off the bat. It's like, excuse me, I'm trying to give access to
let's see here. NA.
No, I had to fill it out. So I sat there for about, I think it was a week and a half, trying to gather all the information off the internet that I'd possibly need to understand to fill these things out. It took me a little while, I'll be honest. Well, let's have a look here. We looked at the gaming on the M1 Pro MacBooks. That's just feels weird to say. It's usually M1 MacBook Pro. Rise of the Tomb Raider could manage 60 FPS or more at 1080p. And the highest in-game settings, the GPU in the M3 is substantially more powerful than the M1.
Sorry, if this is all it's capable of, what's the point of them doing this? It seems like a very big waste of time for them.
Yeah, especially considering the next bit. So perhaps even smooth 1440p gaming could be possible. And with Apple bringing out its new CPU iterations yearly, the gap between gaming on an iMac and PCs will shrink. Oh dear. Game selection support. Well, let's properly get into this, shall we? All the computing power in the world is useless for gaming unless you actually have video games to play on it. That is very true. For most of the iMac's lifespan, the only games that ran on macOS were real-time strategy titles like Civilization, or casual games for puzzles, card games, and digital versions of board games. The graphics cores on most iMacs just weren't up to the task of 3D shooters. And even if somebody had ported them to run on macOS, nowadays Apple has tried to rectify this issue, issuing a game porting toolkit for developers that makes it easier to see if their games will run on Mac and optimize things if they can. Oh dear. So at least they've actually addressed the main issue. This tool is very recent. However, so don't expect to see many big name Windows games make the jump to macOS just yet. One notable exception is Kojima Productions' Death Stranding Director's Cut, which was announced to be coming to Mac at WWDC this year. While that's good news, this game was released in 2019, and we'd love to see more modern titles make the jump. Apple Arcade does have a solid number of titles to play on Mac, but as they also run on the iPhone and iPad, the selection tends to skew towards casual gamer, and few games are console quality like Stardew Valley, but these are the minority.
You mentioned Stardew Valley, mate. You don't need much to run that.
Yeah. You could play games through the cloud. Now, if they're talking about like Xbox, xCloud and all that shit, then you're not even using your PC really. You're just using it as a platform to connect. Instead of porting... Hello? Oh?
Discord's killing me, man.
No, it was because I was too close to my mic.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if it's talking about the system basically being just xCloud or Xbox Game Pass, that sort of system, then you don't even use your PC in that regard. So I don't get what the fuck they're on about. Instead of porting games directly to macOS, there are multiple ways to stream your games and play them that way. Steam Link streams your Steam library installed on a gaming PC to your iMac. What's the point in having the iMac then?
Yeah, you can do that on any device.
Yeah, I mean, I've got it running on a Raspberry Pi from basically mine or my girlfriend's PCs. Streams over to a Raspberry Pi on. I'm talking about a piece of equipment, not an actual Raspberry Pi, Will. Did you not know that existed? Oh dear, I forget he's tech illiterate.
I've just not dealt with that, so I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
You just come out and tell me you're streaming things onto a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, it's a little box. It's like a 4 gig RAM little PC. It fits into like a really small container. It's connected up to the projector anyways, and you can Steam Link directly to the PCs. So it uses the power of the PC, but you can play it on the projector, on the big screen.
Nice.
It's a hell of a lot more enjoyable if you just want to play a controller game just to chill.
Man, imagine if you're playing a sniping game, you're like, it's that guy over there. Let me stand up and get close to the wall real quick.
No, exactly. So yeah, it does need both machines to be on the same network, and also requires a gaming PC. So it's not for everyone. Of course it's not. iMacs already cost about $4,000. What is more viable are cloud-based streaming services like GeForce Now or Xbox Cloud Gaming, which I already talked about, which offload all the heavy processing to cloud servers elsewhere and stream the output to your iMac. Why would you bother? If you've got an iMac, yeah, fair enough, makes sense. If you have a Windows system though, what is the point in buying a Mac for gaming?
Yeah, I mean, and if you don't have either, you're definitely not going to choose Mac as your first option, or realistically as any option.
I'm not being funny, I'd rather use the mobile version.
Be cheaper.
Fucking would. This way you can play the latest games even if they don't have macOS support, but you will likely have a subscription fee for the cloud game streaming service to pay for.
Yep.
Oh, this is just so dumb. Right, I'm going to read through this, and then there's a price link at the bottom, so I'll tell you what it says. iMacs can play games, but you have to be aware of the limitations. If you've been a PC gamer for long enough, you already know all this stuff. Because everyone's PC isn't great off the get-go. You just have to adapt. You have to fucking learn to mess with shit to get it working. It's what we do.
I mean, that's all it is. Like, recommended specs aren't even all that accurate, in my opinion. You sort of, the longer you use your PC, then the more you slowly end up finding out like what it's capable of.
Oh yeah.
And you sort of grow accustomed to what it's able to run and how well it's able to run it. So you sort of know. Like, recommended settings are sort of, what are they? They're like based towards like 60 frames.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be playing 60 frames, especially if you have a monitor that can be showing better.
Exactly. The hardware inside iMacs has come a long way from its early days, apparently. The shift to Apple Silicon has generated a seismic shift in how much power is available to macOS and AAA games, like The Rise of the Tomb Raider, can be played at smooth frame rates. With the release of the M3 series, maybe we'll start to see modern games make their way over to be able to be playable on iMacs. Until then, you can still take advantage of the powerful hardware with game streaming or playing the more casual games found on Apple Arcade.
I mean, let's be serious here for a moment. If you're, for some reason, wanting the game on an iMac, you can get a Windows setup that's probably way cheaper, will run better, and will be like upgradable in future if you're like willing to go down that route.
Yep.
And then also on top of that, you're not gonna have to pay for every single service you want to try and use, because that's just how Apple are.
Very true.
So I don't really understand like why they're trying to go down this route. I don't think they're ever going to be the preferred option or even close
No,
to that.
I'd fully agree. Now, there's something else you can do, and this is the technological advice I will give here. Because you can pay $1,300 for the new iMac.
Right. And what's that get you? 60 FPS at 1080p?
Yes, I
You
know,
can pay
right?
like a quarter of that price for a
On a
Windows
game.
PC and get like probably double the frame rate.
Yeah. By the way, this is on a game that released in like 2018.
Yeah, it's not great.
No. So I'm going to give some technological advice here. There is a YouTuber called Some Ordinary Gamers. I watch him quite often, and he was talking about a system he made. Quite a cool idea, actually. Basically, he runs Linux primarily, because he likes Linux. Fair play to him.
Each
But,
their own.
yeah, but games don't work very well on Linux all the time. Now, obviously, since Steam has added this new system for the Steam Deck, it works a lot better. But he also wanted to be able to use Mac as well as play games on Windows. So he had reasons for all three operating systems. So, what he did was he made a virtual machine that ran 3 VMs. Basically, runs Linux primary, and then he remotely connects in to his Mac OS machine, running the exact same specs as his system, and his Windows machine, running the exact same specs as his system. So basically, he just switches between them, and it's all based on a single machine. Meaning,
Well, shit.
the Apple device, the Mac system, so like the editing software that's amazing on Mac, could be used using his Windows PC hardware. If you have an interest in that sort of stuff, highly recommend checking it out. It will be a lot more worth your money. So, all you really need is basically you need to have earned an Apple device at some point, and you can take the iOS and just install it. There you go. That's my advice.
I think Apple are wild for the way they go about things on their devices and all that.
Oh,
But
same.
I'm truly bewildered as to why they're like trying to go through with this right now.
That's a question for I don't even know who's got the answers in that regard. It's a fucking question for someone. So, it is the 25th anniversary of Half-Life 1. 25 years since Valve walked into this world kicking and screaming and going, fuck
Hey.
you, we're here.
Hey, Sam!
I know, right?
They're
Almost 25 for me.
it's a literal week younger than me, so they are.
Fucking hell. So, to celebrate, they basically reunited with the original development team to share their memories in creating the first Valve's first game.
Damn.
And they also are giving away Half-Life 1 for free on Steam currently.
Well
And
done.
if you've never played it, it was the game that defined and created the first-person shooter genre properly.
Let's be honest, they sort of set an example for a lot
Yeah.
of things. They laid out the path for so many games, developers, creators,
Yeah.
just gamers even.
Yeah. I mean, Doom was the first, but Half-Life pretty much came in and went, this is what you need to do now, moving forwards. And it was followed as a fucking prime example for a long time. But if you have an interest in this sort of thing, definitely recommend checking it out. So worth the time. And as Vinesource put, thank you Valve for one of the most defining games of my life. This documentary was wonderful. And it's immense. I started watching it earlier, and it was really interesting and fascinating just to basically get into. So, feel free to check it out. Apparently, with the Half-Life 25th anniversary update, they've restored content, added new multiplayer maps, and a bunch of quality of life updates for the original game.
Just because why not, I guess.
25 years later, why the fuck not?
And like the best part about that, Roy,
Yeah.
they're not doing it for money because
No.
considering they're giving the game away for free.
I'll just see if it's still on. I actually bought it recently as well. Yeah, there it is. Half-Life 25th anniversary update, completely free. Get it, keep it forever. Even if you don't like games like this, fucking hell is it worth checking out. But this is the graphical quality we're talking. I forget how messy it was. But you
Yeah,
know
it's
what?
what games used to be, man. They used to be the
Oh
best shit
yeah.
ever.
But look at the reviews. 96% positive and 98,000.
Only 96%. How dare they?
I know, right? But let's get on to the final topic of this week, shall we?
Yes, sir.
End it on a high note.
I mean,
Steam.
because that wasn't a high note.
I mean, that was also a high note. We'll pretty much end it on 2 high notes. From Valve as
Oh.
well.
Ooh.
Which you gotta think, that's equally positive. So, introducing Steam Deck OLED. They have basically decided, fuck the LCD display, we're gonna get an OLED display in. Not just that, they decided, we weren't giving you the most storage we could have done, but now we can. So let's do it. Fuck it. And that's what they've done. So, I'm going to read to you the best that we had at the time, which was the LCD display, 256 gig. Now, they've also dropped the prices on the LCD ones to bring in the new ones. So, for £350, you can pick up the LCD 256 gig Steam Deck. So, 256 gigabyte NVMe SSD, 1280 by 800 optically bonded LCD display, 7-inch display size, up to 60 Hz refresh, Wi-Fi 5, 40 watt battery, 2 to 8 hours of gameplay content dependent, 45 watt power supply, carry case, Steam bundle. That's all fine. I'm going to read to you the new best one, which, by the way, they've changed the size of storage, which is 512 gig and a 1 terabyte. So, for £569, you can get yourself a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, 1280 by 800 HDR OLED display with premium anti-glare etched glass, 7.4 inch diagonal display size, up to 90 Hz refresh rate, which, by the way, is the refresh required on VR headsets to prevent motion sickness.
Damn, guess I'm just screwed.
Why?
It's only 60, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
To
I
think
think
though, mate.
maybe 70.
To think though, mate. The original were like 30, and they just caused
Yeah,
so much motion sickness.
That's a bit too low. It's not even that. Just like imagine how bad it would look.
Oh, definitely, it was horrific. 50-watt battery, 3 to 12 hours, dependent on gameplay. Depending on content, sorry. 45-watt power supply again. Carry case with removable liner. And this is where we go to some extra things that they've decided to add. It's nothing major. Steam profile bundle, exclusive startup movie, and exclusive virtual keyboard theme. As I said, it's nothing major, the extra stuff, but it's there just to say thank you for buying the largest, basically. Docking stations also dropped in price to £69. But yeah, basically, brighter colours and blacks, more time to play, faster downloads, and lighter and cooler. I mean, what isn't there good news in that regard? You know, that's fantastic news overall. So, yeah, fair play to them. That's all I have, thankfully. We've covered it all. Took a little
You said
longer.
that like it's such a bad thing.
Oh, no, it's not. It's just, blooming heck. The fucking Mac shit just drove me a bit loopy.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking with that, man. It doesn't make any sense.
True. Plus, you know, the Discord situation at the moment's not been the easiest thing to work around today.
No,
So
it has been unfortunate, but
we'll
nothing we can
make
really do.
sure to sort of check it, I think, next week.
Well, it's sort of resolved. Seemed to have resolved itself towards the latter half of the video. So
Yeah, it's kind of fucking weird how that works. You know, we have issues that come from nowhere, and then they seem to fix themselves from nowhere.
who knows? Maybe Discord were having some issue, and they like tried to do a hot fix, and that fucked voice channels or something. They hot fix that as well. You know what
Not
they're
the
like.
first time.
They'll always work it out quickly anyway. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's just bad timing, really. There's nothing we could have done, but we did what we could, and we work with what we have.
Yep.
All right. All that said and done. Will, do you have anything you'd like to add before we end the episode?
Nothing I can think of, sir.
No problem at all. Well, in that case, thank you everyone for watching, and thank you for your continued support. We hope you all have a good rest of your week and enjoyed this episode. And we will catch you all in the next one. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye for now.
See you later, guys. Have a good one.